नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्मसे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभयेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरो दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरम्। हरे कृष्णा। So, Prabhu, what is the verse we are supposed to discuss today?
Hare Krishna Prabhu,
8.22.
22.
Okay. Okay, 8.22.9. Let's start. So, we are discussing the Maid Canto, Withdrawal of the Cosmic Creations, Chapter 22. Bali Maharaj surrenders his life. Text. I am. किम आत्मना निनेन जहति यो अंतः अंततः किम रिक्त हरे स्वजनाच्यदासुभिः किम जयया संसृति हेतुभूतया मर्त्यस्य गेह किम इहायुषु व्यया किम आत्मना अनेना जहति यो अंततः किम रिक्त हरे स्वजनाख्यदास्युभिः किम जयया संसृति हेतुभूतया मर्त्यस्य गेहे किमिहायुषो किम आत्मना नेन जहति यो अंततः किम रिक्त हरे स्वजनाख्यदासुभिः किम जयया संसृति हेतुभूतया मर्त्यस्य गेहे किमिहायुषो व्ययः Let us read the translation and the purpose by Srila Prabhupada. Translation. What is the use of the material body, which automatically leaves its owner at the end of life? And what is the use of all one's family members who are actually plunderers, taking away money that is useful for the service of the Lord in spiritual opulence? What is the use of a wife? She is only the source of increasing material conditions. And what is the use of family, home, country, and community? Attachment for them merely wastes the valuable energy of one's lifetime. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna advises Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Give up all other varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. The common man does not appreciate such a statement by the Supreme Personality of Godhead because he thinks that during his lifetime, his family, society, country, body, and relatives are everything. Why should one give up any one of them and take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? But from the behavior of great personalities like Prahlad Maharaj and Bali Maharaj, we understand that surrendering to the Lord is a right action for an intelligent person. Prahlad Maharaj took shelter of Vishnu against the will of his father. Similarly, Bali Maharaj took shelter of Vaman against the will of his spiritual master, Shukracharya, and the other, and all the leading demons. People will be surprised that devotees like Prahlad Maharaj and Bali Maharaj could seek shelter of the side of the enemy, giving up the natural affinity for family, hearth, and home. In this connection, Bali Maharaj explains that the body, which is the center of all the material activities, is also a foreign element. Even though we want to keep the body fit and helpful for our activities, the body cannot continue eternally. Although I am a soul which is eternal, after using the body for some time, I have to accept another body, tatha dehantara prapti, according to the laws of nature, unless I render some service with the body for advancement in devotional service. One should not use the body for any other purpose. One should know that if he uses the body for any other purpose, he is simply wasting time. But as soon as the time is right, the soul will automatically leave the body. We are very interested in society, friendship, and love. What are they? Those in the garb of friends and relatives merely plunder the hard-earned money of the bewildered soul. Everyone is affectionate towards his wife and attached to her. But what is this wife? The wife is called Sri, which means one who expands the material condition. If a person lives without a wife, his material conditions are less extensive. As soon as one marries and is connected to the wife, his material necessities increase. Om Sasriyamitvani Bhavametam Tayor Daya Grantima Ato Grihashet Risutapta Vikti Janasya Moho Yamaham Mameti. So the attraction between male and female is a basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which ties together the hearts of the male and the female, one becomes attached to his body. Om property, children, relatives, and wealth. In this way, one increases life's illusions and thinks in terms of I and mine. Human life is meant for self realization, not for increasing unwanted things. Actually, a wife increases unwanted things. One's lifetime, one's home, and everything one has, if not properly used in the service of the Lord, are all sources of material conditions of perpetual suffering under the threefold miseries Adhyatmika, Adibhautika, and Adidaivika. Unfortunately, there is no institution in human society for education on this subject. People are kept in darkness about the goal of life, and thus there is a continuous struggle for existence. We speak of the survival of the fittest, but no one survives, for no one is free under the material conditions. What is the use of the material body, which automatically leaves its owner at the end of life? And what is the use of all one's family members, which are actually plunderers, taking away the money that is useful for the service of the Lord and spiritual opulence? What is the use of a wife? She is only the source of increasing material conditions. And what is the use of family, home, country, and community? Attachment for them merely wastes the valuable energy of one's lifetime. Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport the urgency of taking to Krishna consciousness. Bali Maharaj is actually echoing his desperation to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Bali Maharaj's words should not be taken in a derogatory sense. But Bali Maharaj is expressing his eagerness to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. And therefore, in this natural outpouring of his heart, because see, Bali Maharaj had been having a family, a wife, kingdom, country, and so on. Then in natural desperation to take shelter of the Lord, Bali Maharaj explained that in front of the Supreme Lord, our relationship to the Supreme Lord, all these other relationships are insignificant. That is exactly what Bali Maharaj is saying. He is taking shelter of the Supreme Lord. So he is saying that all one's relationships are insignificant. in front of the prime relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now Srila Prabhupada is explaining further, when Srila Prabhupada explains further by saying that these very relationships what we have with family, with wife, husband, children, home, in fact, all these relationships and attachment to these relationships is what blocks us to heartily surrender to the Supreme Personality of God. So Srila Prabhupada is quoting Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Rajaha, and Prabhupada is explaining that human life is meant to serve the Supreme Lord, and in offering the service to the Supreme Lord, this very attachment to wife, children, husband, home, friends, relatives, this very attachment can potentially create a very strong blockage, an obstacle, very strong barricade. Why? Because any of these avenues of relationships are potentially, any of these relationships, if one wants to serve, then a person can go on serving throughout life. And that is why it is said, so potentially one can go on serving in these relationships throughout one's life, and then also things will not end. Do things end? They don't end. So potentially all these material relationships, from the perspective of the bodily plane, all these relationships are potentially a sink. It's an infinite sink. No matter how much we invest, there is still more which is required. There is still more which is required. There is still more which is required. Now, efforts can be useful if efforts are sustainable. So why these efforts are not so useful? Because they are not sustainable. Because in all these relationships, our service is only directed towards the body of the relative, which the relative may not carry for a very long time. So when the body crashes, then where is our investment and help? It is nowhere. It is nowhere. Therefore, serving the body is considered to be a fleeting endeavor, because the body will crash for us also and all our relatives. So therefore, the idea is, and that is why it is called as a sink, because it is only on the bodily level. So one continues serving till what point? Till the point either one is forced out of one's body or the relative is forced out of their body. One of the things happen. That is only the exit or the termination criteria. So it keeps us entangled. That's the point. It keeps us entangled, and therefore Bali Maharaj is making the point that why should I remain entangled like this? My life has limited energy. So why should I postpone my surrender in the name of taking care of the bodies of my relatives, family members. That is the point. So this is the calling for what? This is the calling of not, this is not a calling of rejection, this is a calling of upscaling. It's not a calling of rejection. So what does that mean? It is a calling of upscaling. So scaling up, when one sees everyone on the platform of the soul, then the efforts for that particular soul is going to help that particular soul are going to be sustainable and lasting. That is the point. But one will not be able to see any living entity on the platform of the soul unless one develops one's vertical relationship with Krishna. And that is why Sarva Dharman Parityajya is the baseline foundation, should be the baseline foundation of any relationship. Because unless there is Sarva Dharman Parityajya, that we completely surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one will not be able to look at other living entities on the platform of the soul. And therefore, any help to them is going to be fleeting because it is for the body which is foreign even to them. So who is the relative, the body or the soul? That is the big question. But when Krishna, then we are serving the body. So we are not actually serving relatives. So what are we doing then? So like our mother, father, are they the body or the soul? So if one is serving the body, the mother and father, which is foreign to the mother and father, as Bhagavatam is explaining, that means the body, not the mother and father, is the soul. Then what is one doing? Is one serving mother and father actually or not? So in this way, out of illusion and bodily attachment, one simply goes on cheating oneself and cheating all one's family members. That is the point. Real service exists only on the platform of the soul. Real service exists only on the platform of the soul. When one can see one's family members and relatives and friends on the level of the soul, then one can help much beyond the body. And that help, which is much beyond the body, is going to continue for them for eternity. That is the point. So in fact, this is Krishna consciousness, because Krishna consciousness means that when one is serving Krishna, automatically service to Krishna results in working for the welfare of every living entity, not just some immediate few family members. Or what to say of just immediate few family members, that one gets so much propelled towards working for the welfare of every living entity. So that is the point, that one is automatically, when one has so Sarva Dharman Parityajya means when one is surrendered to Krishna, all one's heart and body, mind, words, thoughts are being offered to Krishna. Automatically, such a person will be working for the welfare of every living entity. Lord Krishna himself explains this in Bhagavad Gita 5:25. That when one is free from all the doubts, when one doesn't have any doubts and haziness, that means what? Sarva Dharman Parityajya. One is free from doubt, then only one can surrender, no? So such a person will be always working for the welfare, and such a person is bound to be liberated towards the Supreme, not just liberated in vacuum. And liberated towards the Supreme means liberated out of the material tabernacle and entering into the relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So then there is actual expansion. Prabhupada is speaking that when one is materialistic, then what happens? Pumsa Sriya Mithuni Bhavamevam. What is that? Tairo mitu hridaya granthi mahu. So then sutapta vitter janasya mohoyam aham yameti. So the so what is happening is that bodily attraction, male female attraction, leads to a very strong knot in the heart, and that lust is a very strong knot, and that knot expands as increasing illusions and delusions and entanglement. So that knot of lust leads to or expands in the form of ato, griha, kshetra, home, land, Sut, Apt, Vitte. Sut means children, Apt is money, and Vitter, Apt is family, not friends, family members, I think, and Vitter is money. So it expands into all this, and then that's what happens, that the prime purpose of human life is defeated. Janasya mohoyam aham mameti. In this way, the person is caught into attachment of I and my. So that's a very perverted expansion, because in that expansion, what is expanding? The illusion is expanding, the entanglement is expanding, the misery is expanding in the form of griha, kshetra, suta, apta, vitter. Very problematic. Very problematic. But you see, when one is Krishna consciousness, then also there is expansion. But what kind of expansion? Now it's a very nice expansion, a very inspiring expansion. That expansion which ensures the welfare of humanity, which ensures the welfare of all. What is this expansion? There is expansion in the terms that one's family expands. Now one is not just 2 members, 3 members in the family getting bored out, looking at each other, and yeah, planning one discussion meeting or the next to resolve the difference of opinions, and so on and so forth. So now the family is then to what extent the family expands? Vasudeva Kutumbakam. The whole world becomes one's family. One is having feelings for every living entity. How exciting that concept is it not? How exciting that concept is. So just imagine, if you have 1,000 children, how exciting life will be. Huh? If you have 10,000 children, why only 1 or 2? Is it not? And if you have children at all stages, this way, this, yeah, yeah, so, so, so nanotechnology, microtechnology, millitechnology, everything is there, very exciting, like that. By preaching, one can have that experience. By preaching, one can have that experience, is it not? One can preach to different levels of school children, college children, like that. So one can have simultaneously an experience, like that. So life becomes very much exciting. That is the point. So by Krishna consciousness, therefore Prabhupada explains Krishna consciousness is such a nice thing, such a nice thing, and that is why here we see that Bali Maharaj is explaining, why should I postpone my surrender, and why should anyone postpone one's surrender? To invest in what? To invest for the cause of the body, which is foreign to us and to all our family members, which is not actually service, which is an illusion of service. Which is an illusion of service. So rather, we should fully surrender to Krishna, and because that surrender to Krishna, we will be able to serve all family members at the level of the soul, not just family members. That service and that love now expands like a typhoon. It expands and crosses all boundaries and goes and inundates the whole world. Prabhupada did that. Prabhupada established 108 homes in his lifetime, in 12 years. And those homes have become a home of millions of people now. And need is contented. Now it has expanded to 1,008, like that. And in our lifetime, we should contribute to take it up to 10,008. Before we die, is it not? So much is still remaining. And that is what Prabhupada is beaconing, that Krishna consciousness is an urgency. Let's take it up in full spirit, and that is going to ensure overwhelming welfare for all, including our own family members. Let's stop here for today. Do we have any questions? Okay. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.